Hello everybody and welcome back to Pravus Gaming and more Democracy 3 Presidential Suite playing as Sweden. Going on into year 4 now, it is election season, and I'm not really worried about that at all. I am far more worried about the latest negative event that we had, drug addiction. Hard drugs are being traded freely on our streets. The youth are particularly addicted. So I would look at this and say, oh gosh, we have a border issue, right, with the black market drug smuggling and stuff like that. And oh no, we have the health consequences of people getting addicted to hard drugs. Supposedly, at least in theory, a solution to this is actually just legalize the drugs. Does that change anything as far as addictions? No, but at least it's not a crime anymore, so we don't care. I guess? I don't know. We're going to take a look at that and see if that's actually correct. But let's move on to year 4 and see what happens. Nobel Prize! Wow, that's pretty nice. Nifty. GDP goes up, patriots and liberal are happy. Good. Poverty is going down. All in all, we're looking okay. Now, one thing that's surprising to me is, oh, we have 97% of the vote. Well, that's not what's surprising to me, but I'm glad. What's surprising to me is we're actually having a hard time getting the GDP to go up and stay up. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that our productivity is still relatively low. Despite a lot of the major changes that we've made to labor laws and so on, it's still just not doing great. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that we have very low unemployment and very high wages. I mean, the way that that's been recalculated is pretty difficult for me to handle, honestly. Labor shortage, of course, is a pretty big issue, but I'm hoping that the work visas will be enough to get us below that stop trigger relatively soon. Interestingly enough, actually, the labor shortage is resulting in higher wages, which makes sense because companies are desperately trying to compete for what labor does exist, so wages are going to go up. Makes sense. So actually, once labor shortage is gone, that should fix our productivity and drive down wages, which increases productivity, because workers have to actually, work hard in order to try and keep their jobs. I guess? I don't know. Anyway, let's take a look and see what would happen if we were to legalize some drugs. Where are they? Can we not? Hang on. I assume that there's a drug thing, or do we already have some form of it? Let's see. Narcotics. Ah, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so legal drug consumption. So if we were to legalize cannabis, liberals don't care? Well, that's interesting. So they've changed this so that liberals do not care if you have legalized drugs at all anymore. Fascinating. Parents don't like it, conservatives don't like it. Legal drug consumption, and sure enough, this reduces the drug addiction. Again, I feel like that's misnamed. I understand that there's like an epidemic of people who are being locked away for what otherwise would be petty drug crimes, I get that, but this does nothing to solve the addiction problems. If anything, you're actually making access easier for an addict. What you're basically saying is because they're not breaking any laws, we don't care anymore. That's all you're doing. I don't get it. What I do want to know, though, legal drug consumption, currently 0, so we actually can't see what any of the effects are. That's fascinating. Well, we're going to have to do something here. I think we're going to try legalizing cannabis. Legal drug consumption goes up, which means we actually could tax it if we want to. Drug addiction goes down, tourism goes up, youth are happy. Conservatives not so much, but I don't think we even have any conservatives left, so really the only downside is parents and any unexpected consequences of legal drug consumption. But this makes some sense, right? At least in the United States. The Libertarian Party has been pushing for legalizing things like cannabis for a very long time. Now, I don't really know if they would justify legalizing all drugs. It kind of depends. I've heard some that say absolutely and some that say no, that kind of crosses a line for us, but they don't even... I've never really heard a good philosophical argument as to why not, if you are a hardcore libertarian. But it does seem like they all agree on cannabis, so whatever. If we're going to go for a more libertarian playthrough, let's at least legalize cannabis, see if this solves some of our problems by introducing marijuana. Ah, that's funny. Well, that spent all of my political capital. Okay. Moving on, I guess. Let's sort of see what happens. Cyber warfare? Oh, come on! That sucks. Okay, foreign relations are apparently not... Well, they're actually okay. Could be a lot worse. GDP, technology, intelligence services, military spending, international trade, film supported. Oh, really? The fact that we supported the Tyrant movie... They actually did launch a cyber warfare campaign against us. Really? That's what drew it over that line. I didn't expect that to happen. Fascinating. Okay, drug testing of state employees. Oh, as drug addiction causes trouble, well, is this actually scripted to know that? Because that'd be really impressive. Or is this a coincidence that it happens to be giving us this event when drug addiction is actually a problem and we just legalized cannabis? I don't know. Security managers suggest that we start mandatory drug tests of some public sector employees, such as police officers and railroad crews. The trade unions complain. I don't care what the unions have to say about this. I don't care at all. We could introduce the tests, and I wonder if this actually would help to drive down the drug addiction crisis in general. So we're going to give that one a shot. Let's see what happens. We have 99% of the vote right now. We could give some campaign speeches. I mean, that's great, but good lord, we have such huge drags on the economy. This is just outright terrible. Labor shortage, still not gone. Work visas have a ways to go. Okay, what's driving the unemployment? We need to actually create unemployment. GDP. Self-employment membership, tourism, private schools. The lower the GDP goes, the worse the unemployment's going to get. It might sort of correct itself a little bit over time. We could reduce our state healthcare services, but I'm not going to touch that until Dr. Strike is going away, which, by the way, looks like it will be very soon. So after changing up our labor laws and changing things toward the free market, with the healthcare voucher system, it actually is about to eliminate the Dr. Strike. Okay, that at least is a thing. Drug addiction, not actually having quite the desired effect, but the drug tests are going to reduce it, so that is something. Huh. I guess the other thing that we could try to do to try and fix drug addiction is actually increase our religious membership, because right now it's very, very low. Abortion law is making them incredibly unhappy, so if we are going to try and increase their membership, we probably would want to change that up a little bit. I'm guessing it's on demand right now. We may kind of have to. In fact, yeah, I kind of feel like we might actually have to do that. So let's go to our abortion law here. We're going to reduce that down to, let's say, limited circumstances, which is a pretty decent balance all in all across the board. So we'll reduce that, make them a little bit happier. And then, is there anything we can add? What's this? Religious buildings. Constructing religious buildings or restoring the ones already present makes an impression to last for generations to come. I've never seen this before. This probably would help increase our religious membership at least a little bit. Let's give it a shot. Sure enough, it does. Chapel, church, basilica, cathedral, high-rise cathedral. Wow. So it's just about spending money, trying to increase our religious membership by up to 20%. Good lord. The religious love this. Holy crap. And it increases our tourism a lot too. Unemployment going down though? It's not quite what I had in mind. You know something? Let's build a cathedral. Let us build a cathedral and try to increase our religious membership. And here's one of the reasons I want to do this. It's not just because drug addiction, right? Religious membership, you're supposed to impose better morals on kids so they don't do drugs. Don't do drugs, kids. They're bad, right? Okay, got it. The other cool thing, though, is we know that religious membership also helps to affect dementia. So maybe by increasing that, we'll see this finally starting to go down as well. Maybe. Health leaves a little bit to be desired. Could still go up a bit. Private healthcare is going way up. It's really just the doctor strike and the drug addiction. Good lord, these events. These events, though, they're a problem. They're a serious problem. Alright, we have to move on because we're at a political capital, but there we go. Say goodbye to the doctor strike. That's helpful. Uh-oh. Bjorn wants to leave, or Bjorn, or whatever. Currently working as public services. He is... I don't remember. I think he likes religious people and other stuff. Infant boy circumcision. Oh, fun. Huh. Some religious communities traditionally circumcise infant boys, arguing that the operation is a vital part of their religious identity and that makes the patient more resistant against infections. Liberals oppose the practice and request an age limit. So we allow it because we don't want to disrupt an ancient tradition. It has some medical benefits, and we are afraid the practice might go underground if criminalized. I have seen some studies that suggest there might be some very minor medical benefits to it. There are other things that people complain about, though, which I won't necessarily go into in a lot of detail, but certain performance issues that some people complain that circumcised boys cannot have, and that's really what it's all about. I don't know about that, we'll see. But anyway, set age limit, circumcision violates the patient's privacy and is not much better than genital mutilation of girls, which is already criminalized. I don't know, I mean, I definitely see female genital mutilation as way more severe. I mean, I see this as kind of neutral, maybe good, maybe not, I don't know, kind of up in the air. This one I see is universally bad, so I don't know about that. The practice carries some risks and certainly makes the patient less of a man. Hey now! Whoa, no, what are you saying? Hey! I don't know how they do things over in Europe, but at least in the United States, statistically, I'm pretty sure, at least to this day, most young boys are circumcised. So be careful what you're saying. Some of us might take that personally. I have no idea which to go for here. So we're trying to make the religious like us, and this guy's about to quit, which is going to cause some serious problems if we can't make him happy. Also, which one's the more libertarian? I guess the more libertarian would say if it's not causing serious lasting harm, which it's really, I don't know if you could argue it is. Some would say it is, some would say it isn't. I don't know. That's up in the air. I feel like maybe the more libertarian is to say kind of don't get the government involved and persuade people not to do it if you think it's a bad idea. I don't know. We're going to allow it. I want to make the religious happy because Bjorn's about to quit, and that's a serious issue. We have lost almost our entire surplus because the GDP has been going down, by the way, which is not great. Self-employed and religious. Well, I've made the self-employed incredibly happy. I really don't understand. Wait, no, I haven't. Why aren't you happier? Oh, payroll tax. Hello. Oh, now that is interesting. Oh. Why is this driving up wages so much? Okay, hang on. A payroll tax is collected from employers on top of salaries, usually to fund welfare spending. In contrast to an income tax, it is not withdrawn from workers' paychecks. However, it increases labor costs as well as holding back workers' income in the long run. And yet it's saying that wages go up by 27%? No. It does say that their earnings have gone down, though. Well, wages are so high that they're killing our productivity. Private schools, this is funding the black market. No. This is terrible. Oh, but it gives us a huge income. Ah, this is why we've done this. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. This is something I don't like. I want to get rid of this almost entirely, but I'm not sure it's a top priority right now. At least cyber warfare is about to go away. So that's something. One thing we could probably do... Well, I was about to say let's invest in the diplomatic service and try to make sure it never comes back, but honestly, the reason it went up in the first place was because the film was supported, and as long as this starts gradually going away, I think we'll be okay. So never mind. I think we'll just have to leave that as it is. Did we ever fix the freaking traffic accidents? Yes. Why is the start trigger and the stop trigger exactly on the same line? I don't know. If we want to keep working on drug addiction, though, which is finally starting to come down, one thing I know we could do, I saw a comment about this, and they're absolutely correct, is if we go to prisons here, we could go to, let's see, we could go from some re-education to extensive rehabilitation. The problem is this is not a lot of gain compared to what we have right now, because we're already on some re-education, but we could invest a little bit more in it. Here's something interesting, by the way. They have changed this so that conservatives are not happy with increased funding for prisons. There comes a point where the conservatives are not happy. They're okay with overcrowded cells. They don't like shared cells. Yeah, that's interesting. I understand conservatives not liking extensive rehabilitation. That might be more real-world correct, right? They're saying, okay, that's too much. They're criminals, just let them rot, right? Which sounds draconian, and I'm oversimplifying, I apologize, but that's what I'm saying is like the perception for some people. So I can understand that, but at the very least, basic provisions having good, strong prisons, you'd think conservatives would like that for law and order's sake. I don't know. Let's go ahead and invest in it. It's a tiny bit more of an effect on the drug addiction. We're trying to drive it down. Trying. Obesity is gradually working its way down. Dementia, we're having no luck on that at all. Asthma epidemic, no. Tooth decay is going down. Corruption is actually down to 0. Well, nifty. I like that. That's going to save me a few billion kronos. Road accidents will definitely be good. Cyber warfare is going to go away. Labor shortage. Oh, we solved it. Wait, why is it going down that... Oh, that's because of the GDP. Yeah. I think the GDP crashing was enough to actually drive down unemployment, or create enough unemployment that the labor shortage went away. So believe it or not, this GDP crash is actually kind of a self-correction in the market to try and create a new balance between labor and business. Fascinating. Okay, well, as we're working on things like that, though, what if we focus a little bit more on the environment with something like nature reserves? Relatively cheap. Protect some land from urban development, mining, logging, and other exploitation. So this is a new policy that was added in the modpack, and I think, yeah, this actually has a massive, massive impact on the environment. In fact, I'm not sure we want to go... Wow, really? Okay, so hang on. Let's look at these descriptions for a second. Keystone biotopes, important biotopes, various biotopes, most of the country, the whole country becomes a nature reserve. It's like Canada. Not quite, but you know what I mean. Yeah, we're not going to go quite that much. Still, the higher we go, though, environment could go up to 26%. That's amazing. Farmers, however, will be furious, but there will be less of them. The oil supply goes way down. Now, that could be a problem. That could starve the economy if we're not careful. Private housing going down also is not so good, and capitalists don't like it. What if we did... just important biotopes. Just important biotopes. It's really important to maintain this, then we'll protect it. That way the environment can go up. We'll say that this is public land that we want to protect so that everyone is able to enjoy it. Perhaps it's really important for the ecology of the nation and in the national interest. You know, we have to preserve this land or else perhaps our entire economy could be threatened or our food supplies could be threatened. Who knows? Either way, let's go ahead and pass that because I've never seen that actually work. Kind of curious. Anything else that we want to do? What else do we have for the GDP here? A few things. Process industry, cyber warfare is going to go away. Productivity. Productivity is starting to go up. That's good. What about things like small business grants? Do we still have that? Is that an option here, or is that under tax? There used to be something called small business grants, and it's very, very good for helping to build up the GDP. Then again, I'm looking under GDP looking for small business grants. It may not affect the GDP anymore, technically. Let's see. Tech grants, rural development grants. I don't think that I see it. Huh. I have no idea where it is. You know what? Let's just hold on to our points. Move on to the next turn, see if we can find it a little bit faster. Oh, yes! Whoa, 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 whoa. Wait a minute, though. Flash crash? Automated trading has rendered the stock market so fragile that a single large trade has sent stocks into a sudden spiral. Economists are calling for the immediate introduction of rules for automated trading to prevent such a disaster from happening again. Our GDP took a huge blow. Holy crap, I've never seen that before. Well, that's new. But cyber warfare, corruption, air pollution, road accidents, labor shortages are all at an end. So that's good. But that, whoa. Whoa, that is bad. The GDP is way more complicated than I'm used to. We still have a small surplus and we'll get the vote. Easily. But still, wow, that's new. Okay. No. Financial regulations? That's not a very libertarian way of solving this, though, now is it? Taxes. Where the heck are the small business grants? They did not get removed, surely. There's no way they got removed. Hang on. Hang on a moment. What about self-employed membership? Small business grants. They do exist. I told you. Okay, so we could invest a bit in this. Oh, that would boost our productivity. So self-employment goes way up, socialism membership goes way down, trade unionist membership goes down, capitalist income goes up, the computer industry is stronger, and productivity goes up. Yes, yes, yes. We'll spend a few billion crowns on that. That'll be fine. Okay, absolutely. What else do we want to do? We do need to... Well, let's see. How's our health? Health's actually getting close to maxed out. One thing we may want to consider doing is actually starting to draw back our state healthcare services now. Because we're spending a lot of money on this. A lot. And if we actually reduce this, we're increasing the private healthcare market again. We could reduce it down to the point where we say, if you have a life-threatening operation needed and you can't afford it, the government will step in to save your life. But that's it. Now, that would cost me a lot of points to reduce this. The poor would not be as happy, but the capitalists would like it. That's good for the vote. Socialists, no. Health goes down by doing this because we're not investing as much money in people's health. But the private healthcare market goes up. Drug addiction, though, and obesity. You know what? I'm not sure this is a high priority right now. I thought it was, but maybe it's not. Dementia's going up. Why? Obesity is going down. Well, as the GDP crashes, that should solve that problem. Asthma's going to go down. Drug addiction spiked back up. Why? Shy of crashing my technology, I'm not sure what to do. I wanted to cancel more and more of these, but I'm just not going to be able to do it. The black market, of course, is still a huge problem. We could try to reduce a tax, like the alcohol tax. That would increase our alcohol consumption, but it would definitely help to reduce poverty and reduce the black market. Let's go ahead and reduce the alcohol tax to about 35% instead. We'll enjoy that as an option. What else can we do to boost up our productivity? Wages, alcohol consumption, legal drugs. What about maternity leave? Oh, wow. It's set to full paternity leave right now. That might be a little bit too high. A bit higher than I can handle, actually. That's a huge drag on our productivity. Yeah, no. I think we're going to draw this back down to, like, mandated half pay. Yeah, we're going to reduce this. Half pay. That's all you can expect. If you're going to have maternity... That's still so much, though. I hate this. I hate maternity leave in this game. It really is rough. It makes a lot of people happy, but that's all that it does. It wins votes, but it does nothing for your economy. As opposed to, right, the childcare provisioning, which actually increases productivity. Do we cancel maternity leave? Or is that considered a little bit too harsh? I have to find it again, of course. Maternity leave. If I reduce it down to quarter pay, make a lot of people unhappy, but we boost the productivity. I'm not going to go all the way. I think that may be a little bit too much. Let's reduce it down to about half pay. We're going to try to boost up some of our productivity a little bit more. Just keep in mind, like, this is one of the big things that's stifling our economies. Our productivity has been so low for so long. So we're going to try to fix that. I'm also going to invest in that diplomatic service after all. Let's boost up our foreign relations to make sure the cyber warfare event does not come back. Do we want to do... We don't want to do financial regulation because that's not libertarian and it doesn't fit with the playthrough. We could introduce a small recreational drugs tax. And I'm going to, because I want to reduce the legal drug consumption at least a bit. So we'll have a pretty high recreational drugs tax. We reduce the alcohol tax, but we're going to tax the marijuana. Because right now, people can just smoke as much as they want, it doesn't even matter. We're also going to try to encourage people to stop using their own cars and just carpool together. Reduce the cars on the road. We will also invest in a cycling campaign and try to persuade people to use bikes instead. And that'll boost up our health. Okay, I think that's all we were able to do. I don't have any manifestos because I don't have any more political capital left. So I think we have to move on. A lot of these events got cleared up all at once. But there are a few that are really hanging on there, and I'm not sure what to do about them. Drug addiction is still a problem, but let's go to the election. Let's see how things are looking. Do the Disciples of Felix have any grounds to stand on? Well, we spent a lot of money on our campaigns, and we have a pretty good activist turnout, so that's great. Okay. So a few thousand bros showed out for Felix, but otherwise, yeah. Wow. Are we sure this is only set to 60% difficulty? It's not like 30%? Because it feels like that was way too easy. Alright, well, the breakdown. We won almost every single vote. Surprisingly, a handful of liberals didn't like me. Not sure how that happened. Health's gone up, education's gone up, crime, equality, blah, blah, blah. Unemployment's a problem, but to be fair, it was at 0 to begin with. Energy efficiency, international trade, racial tensions. We did open up a lot of immigration, so that could be part of that. Earnings for the highest have gone down, middle have gone down, but the poor are doing better, probably because they're opening their own businesses, so it's a bit more competitive and less corporate. GDP has gone down, yeah. That's what's surprising me. Usually by this point in the game, in the base game, I've done a lot to boost up our GDP, but the GDP is so complicated in this particular mod pack. Military strength, that's another thing. We haven't really looked much at that. We probably should. Let's see. Military strength. International trade makes patriots unhappy because it's so low. Fascinating. But yeah, anyway, no, it's just the GDP is surprisingly difficult to work with. Because there's so few policies that directly impact the GDP, and instead, they impact the computer industry, the process industry, or the financial sector. Which, by the way, was steadily declining until we pretty much just boosted it up a little bit. We also do already have... I'm surprised we got that flash crash then. We already have a trading delay in law. How'd that happen then? I don't want to have a total ban, or ban high frequency or circuit breakers. This is about as high as I would have gone to begin with. I have no idea. Yeah, whatever. That's next video's problem. So yeah, thank you all very much for watching. We're going to go on into year 5, starting on Monday. And hopefully we can wrap this series up by the end of next week. But if there are things you'd like me to try, or a few policies you'd like to see me eliminate or change in order to fit the libertarian playthrough, please let me know. Obviously, I cannot go full libertarian. I'd have to get rid of almost every single policy here. But a few high priority ones, let me know in the comments section. I'd be interested in looking at that. Alright, yeah, anyway, like I said, thank you all for watching. Hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.